Alright guys, so we're back. I'm about to jump into another video. This one's going to be a tutorial on how to make an image look cinematic. So back in the days, I used to do a lot of mix CD covers and album covers for artists in the neighborhood, and I picked up a couple of tricks along the way. As you can see in this this thumbnail I did for my YouTube channel, for the video I did for Sticker Mule, just like a little review on like the sticker that I purchased from them. You can see how cinematic I look inside of this thumbnail, and if you the regular picture, I don't look like that. I mean I look like that because that's me, but I don't look cinematic like that. So let's just jump into it. So let's go open up, let's go file. Actually, I think I have the folder over here. Yes, I do. And here's the image that I want. So let's drag that in here. Boom. Okay, there we go. So minimize that. Make sure I have my layers panel over here right next to me so you can see what I'm doing. All right, let's unlock that. All right, so this is gonna be a quick tutorial because I basically just want to show you how to manipulate the photo to make it look more cinematic. And really what I want to manipulate is the person or the character that's right in front of you. And the person that I'm using today is Legend. He goes by Hood Legend 516. He's a rap artist. And he does a bunch of other things as well. But you should definitely check out his music because the music is one of a kind. It's awesome. You know what I'm saying? He's from New York, you know what I'm saying? And he'd be killing it. So I'm going to use Legend. And basically what I want to do is I want to get him to look cinematic. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is color correct the image. We're not using Camera Raw. We're not inside of Photoshop. We're inside of Affinity Photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up top. I'm going to click on layer because we're working with the layer. Okay. Then we're going to come down to new adjustment layer. Okay. And then in here we can adjust the exposure. We can adjust the level, the white balance, the black, the brightness to the contrast, the shadows and the highlights. And that's what we want to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is exposure. Okay, come down here and then we're going to see. So as you see, as I bring it up, we brighten up the image a lot. Okay, so I do want to brighten it up, but not too much. That I want it to be cinematic, kind of like dark, but I just want to bring back some of the highlights. So as you can see, look, I brought back some of the highlights in his eyes, his cheek, that's pretty good. Background layer, let's bring it inside. All right, so just drag it down, it drops in, now it attaches onto the background layer. Okay, so we brighten it up a little bit. Let's go back to layer, new adjustment layer. I go with brightness and contrast next. Okay, so let's see. Now let's bring down the brightness a little bit. So as you can see, right in this area, you'll see like the brightness change as I bring it down. Watch. See? And then his face too. Now let's pull up the contrast a little bit. Okay, now let's bring the brightness back up a tad bit. Now let's bring the contrast up. Nope, right about there. All right, so I went up 3% on the brightness, but I went up 13% on the contrast. Okay. All right, let's close that. All right. So now let's go back to layer, new adjustment layer. Now let's mess with the shadows and the highlights. Okay. Okay. So the shadows pretty strong. So let's mess with the highlights first. The highlights are blooming in the background. See that? Don't like that. There we go. All right, so as I pull the shadows out, actually I go up on the shadows. I'm pulling it out. Okay, if you go down on the slider, you're adding to the shadow. Okay. You go up, you're actually highlighting the shadow. So now, as you can see, I can see more of his face. I like that a lot because I'm gonna add some details to his face. So I needed it to brighten up. Okay. Right now we have our exposure. Okay. See the exposure brightens up the image. See that? Okay. Then we have our brightness and contrast. You see? See, this is like kind of like bland and dull, but as soon as you add the brightness and the contrast, boom, it adds strength, it adds character. And then if we up the shadows on this specific image, we can actually bring his face back in. So it's pretty nice. Without that slider, it'd just be too dark. As you can see, it's too dark after all the other adjustments that we did. Now, some images you might want to increase the shadows because there's not enough shadows. So you have to play around depending on what type of image it is that you're working with. Okay. So now let's go back into like that. Go back into layer, new adjustment layer. So we did the exposure already. We did brightness, contrast, shadows, and highlights. Let's try white balance and see what we get with that. Right. Okay. So with the white balance, what it's doing is it's basically giving us like a temperature check for the image. So as I bring it, that's pretty cool right there. Actually, I actually like that. This is almost like the blue, like the teal orange. You know, when you start messing around with this. So what's that? -29. So let's remember that number. But I kind of like it when it goes over to the yellows because it gives it more of an earth tone, you know, and it kind of like goes with the image. What to do, right? Okay. It actually looks better though when it goes. Okay. So you just mess around with the white balance, and then okay, that was cool. So let's see. Let's uncheck that. Okay, it's a subtle difference, you know, but as you start to work in the software on your own, you start to like okay, I want my images to look like this, you know. So let's leave that. I like that. Yeah, why not? Let's just try the curves right now. I always do the curves, but I didn't know if I wanted to do it at that point in time. Okay. So we're gonna make an S. You you put two nodes, one node at the top, one node at the bottom, and you make an S. So move the highlights up a little bit, and then let's take the shadows down a little bit. Okay, a little bit, not too much, because this image is already dark, so you don't need that much. Now let's duplicate it. So what you're going to do is you're going to press Control and then J, and that's going to actually duplicate. Okay, didn't do it. Make sure it's actually highlighted. Control J. Okay, there we go. And now we just duplicated it. Okay, made a copy of it. Then you're going to hide the bottom one. And that one you can always go back to. You don't want to mess with that. Okay. So now I have this one here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, click on the actual image. And now I'm going to start having some fun since my color correction is done. So the first thing I'm going to do is go down to the bottom, and you see it says live filters. Click on that. Now I want to actually add some detail to the face. So in order for me to add some detail, I'm going to click on unsharp mask. Let's click on that. And in order for you to see anything happen, you need to bring up the radius. Let's bring up the radius. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Wow. I don't know if you can see that. I hope you can see that, but look right in his face. You see this is kind of like blurry, and that's because it's just the way the camera shot the picture. But now I could bring that detail back. I slide up the slider. Look at that. Yeah, his face is like, it's strong now, very strong. So we're gonna do a black and white layer. Actually, make sure I click on that. Let's go to layer, new adjustment layer. Let's go to black and white. Okay. Now with the black and white, what you want to do is you want to come down here to where it says blending mode, and you want to go all the way down to the bottom where it says luminosity. Okay. Let's try it on average actually and see what that does. So what I did was I basically took a black and white adjustment layer and I put it on, let's see which blending mode, average. So I put it on the blend mode average, and then from there I messed around with the sliders to actually change the dynamics of the face. So just look at the face. I'm gonna deselect it and look at how dark the face is, and like how, you know, this looks too rough. Like you won't be able to see the detail work as good as you should. And now take a look when I put it back on. You see it brightens it up just a little bit, just a tad bit. And let's just take a screenshot. So in order for you to take a screenshot, you do Control Shift, right? You hold those down, alternate, and then the letter E. Right? So basically that's gonna take a screenshot. It's gonna merge all the layers together into one. And now I could hide these two layers I was working on, and boom. And now we have just the one image. All right, so once I have the screenshot, basically when it merged all the layers together, I'm gonna come down to the bottom and I'm gonna click on live filters. Okay. And I'm gonna go up to unsharp mask. And now I'm gonna apply another unsharp mask. So I'll bring up the radius. Okay. And now we have more detail in the face. Yeah, he looks pretty serious. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone. And then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna add the curves adjustment layer, which is already here. So, okay, so after I apply the unsharp mask, I'm gonna add the curves adjustment layer. Just make sure it's inside of the group. What I'll do is though, I'll put a node here at the bottom, and then I'm gonna bring up this node right here. And as I bring the node up, you'll see the image starts to fade. So it's like that retro look, like the film look, and I'm basically sinking him into the background. See, this is without it, and this is him sinking in, fading in. And now he's in there. He's imprinted it into the footage. He's in the film. He's into the movie. All right. And now let's go back to layer, new adjustment layer. And now we're going to go to color balance. So what the color balance is going to do is going to bring everything together. So watch, I'll show you. I'm working on the midtones right here. So the midtones, the first thing you're going to work with. All right, let's grab the cyan and red slider, and now let's start playing around. So this is basically on you. So 28% looks good. It brought some more reds back into his face. So the red is gonna mess with the skin tone, like the earth tone colors. So 28, I like that. Now let's try to go to the other side. So you see that actually pulls most of the red out. I actually like that, but I'm not gonna keep it like that. But you see how it brings back the green, and the gate looks like a gate now, you know, and the trees look like they're in a depth of field. So this is actually really nice. This is actually where it probably should stay. But let's bring it back to 20, because I think I could still bring that back. So 28. Okay, so I like 28, right? So now let's go down to magenta and green. Mess with this slider. See, now this is too much on the dark side, and too much pink. But if I come over to the green a little bit, it's going to add more green in the grass. So 10% is okay, maybe a little less. 6 is fine. Now let's go to the yellow and the blues. So the yellow, see, that's going to be some vibrant grass. But now let's go over to blue. Bring the blue back in. Yeah, I like that. So see how it gives them that cold stare, that cold look. You bring that icy blue in with 31%. So let's go up more. I like that a lot, actually, because you can still see the pink, you know. 50%. So let's bring it back down a little bit. 36. Leave it at 40. 40 is good color. All right, so now let's go to the highlights. That next. So let's try it. Let's slide, and to get to the highlights, you just click on this drop down menu. All right, so now cyan, orange, just no, but the cyan, I like that just a little bit though. To see what the cyan does to the sky. Yeah, I like that, man. Actually, okay, yeah, I like it when you bring the cyan all the way in. Oh, that's nice, man. You see, it just looks so cinematic now. It just looks like a movie, you know what I'm saying? So let's go to magenta and green. We're not gonna need these though. No, because it looks good. In order to bring the color back, just double click. If I slide this over and I double click it, it goes right back. Well, okay, yeah, stay there. Okay. All right, let's mess with the yellow and blues. So icy, man. The yellow's gonna blow it out. We don't want the yellow. We want it to be cold. Yeah, that's it right there. That's what we want. Not too much, but that's fire. Okay, now let's go and check out the shadows. See what we can do. So the shadows go mess with the trees down here, you know. So let's mess around with the sliders. So cyan and red, bring it up a little bit. See, when I brought up to 11%, it was more. It brought more depth back into his face. So let's slide it out, slide it back in. All right, I think maybe like 8%. No, maybe like 6% for his face. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, now magenta and green. %, green. How about 9%? And the blue and the yellow. Yeah, we get some more of that blue in there. Yeah, look at that, man. I like that, but it's too much though. Okay, let's pull back on that. Pull back just a little bit. 16% maybe. Yeah, I like that actually. So yeah, that's crazy. That was a lot of work, but hey, it's fun too. Let's take that off though. So color balance adjustment layer, take it off. See, you see how we did all the color correction to get it to this point, and then when we did the color balance, it's basically like you're putting a filter on top of what you already did. Let's bring that back. Oh my god, look. It just looks so cinematic, man. It's just sitting so beautiful. And that's pretty much it, man. Yeah. So now this was the first color correction that we did. This image right here. Okay. So basically we changed like the highlights a little bit. We definitely changed his face. We brought his face out up to the front. We killed most of the shadows from the hoodie. Okay. And we changed the color of the backdrop a little bit, right? And we added some sharpness, etc., etc. That's in this folder down here, the one that's not highlighted. Then what we did was we basically took a screenshot of it, and then we started to work over the top of that screenshot. So first thing we did was add a mask. So the unsharp mask brought even more detail back into the image, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to have as much detail as possible so that the image is strong. Okay, that helps with making something cinematic. Then we brought the curves adjustment layer, and then with the curves adjustment layer, usually we make an S curve, but we didn't need to because this is such a dark image. But what we did was we made it retro, and we sunk the image back in to we basically pushed him back into the image, and made him seem like he was a part of the backdrop. And then from there, it was just time to color and put your filter over the top. And basically color balance adjustment layer is that you just have to learn how to play with it, and that's all in your eyes though. So now let's bring that back in. Oh my god, as soon as it just clicks on, it's like, damn, like that's a movie right there. You can name like 1,000 movies that have like that type of color on it, you know what I mean? If he was moving right now in the video, it'll just look so sick, man. Like, well, yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You already know who this is. This is 005 Dynasty. On YouTube, I pretty much do beat making videos, speed arts, tutorials on graphic design. I use Photoshop, Illustrator. I also use Affinity Photo. That's the program I'm in right now. Affinity Designer. I use 3D software. Like, I know how to use a lot of programs. That's it, man. So subscribe if you like. Leave a comment in the comment section because that really helps me a lot. And if you want, share the video, and that's pretty much it. And all the music